Welcome to Double Drivel, an NBA podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of Double Drivel. We are a weekly podcast offering a fan's perspective on the news and issues surrounding the NBA. Thank you for joining us. My name is Greg, and I am joined as always by my co-host JT. You can find us on Twitter at Double Dribblers or email us at doubledrivelpodcast@gmail.com. JT, what up, my friend?
Not too much, Greg. Doing good. Feeling good. Happy to be here.
I think we should start off by thanking all the new listeners and a lot of new international listeners also. So welcome to everyone, and make sure to subscribe and make sure to tell a friend or multiple friends or whoever you want. But please help spread the word. We'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. And also check us out on Twitter for almost you get the full Double Drivel experience. We've been posting a lot of NBA-related GIFs and getting some pretty big retweets and stuff. So check us out there. It's a lot of interactive fun.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun. It was something we always did separately on our Twitter, but now we're really going at it as a team. So I love it. Yeah, I also love the topics we have tonight. We got some great stuff. We got sloppy Joe Ingles getting fined. We have the Phoenix Suns, who are falling apart right before our eyes. Markelle Fultz, who says he has a jacked up shoulder. And Jordan Bell with what I will refer to as a tasteless alley-oop. But starting off with sloppy Joe Ingles getting fined for $15,000 for nut-tapping Steven Adams. Now, this is a Utah Jazz story, so this is all you, JT. What's going on with sloppy Joe?
You know I love Joe Ingles, Greg. You know he's probably my favorite active player in the whole league.
He's got great numbers right now.
He's fucking killing it. Guy looks like he looks like your garbage man who picks up your trash and rides in the back of the truck, like half shaven, kind of goonish, does not look like an athlete. Just not the Heisman Trophy posed picturesque athlete you might imagine.
But quite an Adonis.
He's a scrapper.
Hard worker. Yeah.
Scrapper. And my man is from Australia, okay? And another great country close to Australia is New Zealand, where Steven Adams is from. So I think, Greg,
this is going.
I think we have a little bit of a feud that goes beyond basketball between these two. I mean, I like to speculate. That's what I'm doing here.
Oh, yeah, you certainly do.
The play in question was actually Ingles wasn't called during the game. It was only after the game when they were reviewing it, as you know how they do.
See, I don't agree with that. Right there.
All right. Well, hear me out. Let's hear what happened first.
No, I'd rather get angry first, but I guess I'll let you finish. But please, go.
Steven Adams is setting a pick, and Ingles was kind of coming behind him and gave him a little back knuckle tap on the nuts. And Adams, don't forget, same guy who Draymond Green kicked square in the nuts last year during the playoffs. Square in the fucking beanbag.
This is a guy that has some of the most notorious nut shots, ever. This is certainly one of the worst. That I'll never forget that shot that he took from Draymond.
This wasn't nearly as bad. It was a little, I never fucking did this in a locker room, but like as they say, boys do to each other in the locker room. Little tap. And then the next play, when Adams is coming down the court, he like shoves Ingles, elbows him as he's rolling by, and they call Adams for the technical. So, like I said, they didn't call the nut tap until after the game was over. $15K to my man Joe Ingles, which he signed a huge deal this offseason. He's been very candid about the fact that he makes a ton of money, makes way more money than he probably should. $15K is not going to keep him up at night. This puts me over the top with Joe Ingles, Greg. I love this guy so much. I'm buying a jersey. I'm buying a fucking Joe Ingles jersey. I don't even know if they'll have a smart jersey for my man, but I'm getting one.
Yeah, there's no way they have a smart jersey for your man. I don't think that he
If they were smart, they would have a jersey for him, Greg.
It's true. I'm sure it's Gobert, though. But who would have known that the feud between New Zealand and Australia would manifest itself in a nut shot on a basketball court in America? And if that was a real nut shot, I mean, and I don't have to be a pro athlete to know how this goes because I have the equipment that we're talking about here. If you get hit in the nuts hard enough that it's a foul, it's going to hurt. Yeah, and you would know at the time because Steven Adams is going to be like, holy shit, I'm in pain. So if it didn't get to that point, I don't see how you look back through the tape later and say, oh, look at that. That's a foul right there, and that's something we need to find. You can't go through the tape and look for fines. That's unacceptable. If you get away with it during the game, I thought that was just always implied that was it. That's just how it goes. But in this age of going back and not even just instant replay or any sort of review, going back and reviewing the entire game for infractions, that's insane.
Yeah, they're just gunning for my man because they know he's hot. They know that if they don't slow him down, he's the next Steph Curry, like without a doubt.
Oh, hell no.
Yes, well, with that, we will go on to the Phoenix Suns. So the Phoenix Suns are imploding right before our eyes. Now, they were an awful team to begin with, and this year they're even worse, it seems. And I thought that they were supposed to be better. That was my understanding. I didn't think that they were going to be this bad this year, but they are really bad. And one thing in particular that's going wrong for them is their player Eric Bledsoe, who tweeted that he did not want to be here. Quote, I don't want to be here. Now, I've never tweeted that about my job, and I'm sure that you have not either, JT, but he felt like that was necessary to do and that was going to, I guess, help him out. But the Suns weren't having it. They took a harder line with things than I expected. How do you feel?
Well, first he says, I don't want to be here. And then they asked him about it. And he says, I'm talking about being at the salon with my girlfriend. That's what I meant when I said, I don't want to be here. So first you say you don't want to be here. And then you don't even have the nuts to say, yeah, that's true. I'd rather not be here. You make up a story. Okay.
Not even a good story.
No, like nothing behind that story holds up. It's bullshit. It's weak. You're just looking for attention. And then Suns GM says, I don't buy your bullshit and we don't want you back. I
couldn't believe he sent him home. I could not believe that.
You almost never see this happen. It usually gets dragged out for quite some time with this type of thing. But good for you. Good for the Suns back of the house, kind of standing their ground.
Yeah, like I said, they definitely took a harder line than I expected, and I thought that was good. And you had sort of a little note on here, which, man, just felt like a hot take, so I wanted to go over that. And you asked an important question. What is that question about the Phoenix Suns?
I think at every point in a franchise, wherever they are, the question should be asked, is this working out here? We pose that question to the Phoenix Suns. Does the Phoenix Suns franchise make sense in Arizona? Should it stay? Is that a city and state deserving of a billion-dollar NBA franchise? That's what I said.
Do you think the city is why they're bad?
I don't know. I mean, I think Arizona, and I know a couple people in Arizona, and I don't want to speak for more than the couple that I know, but a lot of electronic dance music, Greg. A lot of beading and like crafting of necklaces and jewelry made of plastic beads. I see a lot of that. I just don't know if they have professional basketball at the top of their list for things that mean something to them.
So just so I can keep a list of things, just so if I'm ever looking for a new basketball city to track. So it has to be low on beads and beading and bead related materials, and also above all else, you can't have any, and I'm saying any. No EDM. Just none. As long as there is no EDM, no electronic dance music, then that is a place I want to be.
You can have some.
What about Miami?
You can play Miami? That's a different scene, Greg. That's a different scene. Okay, we got water there. Okay,
so it's a nice place. So you don't like Phoenix, so you don't think that they deserve a team. That's basically what this comes down to.
No, because Miami is not a nice place either. Miami's shitty for a bunch of different reasons, but I think a little better suited for basketball.
All right, so just to round it out, we don't like Phoenix and we don't like Miami, but for two completely different reasons. And I say we, and I really mean you.
Right.
I have a ton of other places I don't like, but we're not talking about me right now.
Not right now. Yeah.
No. But moving on to someone we are going to talk about, and it is Markelle Fultz. And his shoulder is what he's blaming for his horrific free throw shooting motion. And I didn't realize if he was shooting that poorly just in general. I don't recall his shot being that strange, but just his free throws have been horrific. I know this is somebody you've been watching. What do you think of his shoulder?
We've been talking about it. Even on this show, we talked about Fultz shooting free throws is disgusting, and something's up there. I mean, it looks like something is terribly wrong with him. And today, his agent has come out and said, yes, something's up. He had a bunch of fluid drain from his shoulder, and that's why the form looks like this.
Agents making statements is a red flag if I ever know anything about basketball. That's the one thing. If your agent's talking for you, it's not good. Unless it's about your contract. They need to not be talking because they're just covering for you.
Yeah. Greg, if you're recovering from some type of procedure and you're unable to go through your normal movements that you do for your job, why the fuck are you playing? Why are you playing professional basketball if your body isn't right? You see almost 9 times out of 10 when someone is injured, teams always play it conservatively because these guys are just worth so much cash. It doesn't make any sense to risk injuring them for an extended period of time. So if this Fultz thing is true, if it's his shoulder, if he's recovering, get him out of there. Get him out of there and rehab it properly. Don't risk further injury.
No, this story makes absolutely no sense because he's on the 76ers and they will not let Embiid play back-to-backs. They won't let him play extended minutes. Not even extended minutes. They won't let him play normal minutes. Ben Simmons sat out the entire year last year. So this is not a team that's afraid to sit people for a while. So I don't think that it is what he's saying. I feel like there's something's not right about this. And I'm going to call this right now. This man is going to be a bust. He is not. He just doesn't look like he has the fire. When I look at him, I thought the same thing the first time I saw him as now. I think his number got pushed up somehow. He had good momentum behind him that he was going to be the number 1 pick. That's all you kept hearing was, yeah. He's the number 1 pick. He's the best player. There's so many other guys that have already proven themselves that they look better than him. So I don't know. I think he's going to be a bust. I'm putting it in stone and on tape right now. Markelle Fultz, bust.
Damn, Greg. It's like that?
Yeah, it is like that. So another perfect example, the next person we're going to talk about is Jordan Bell. Now, this is a guy who was drafted by the Chicago Bulls and then traded for $3 million from the Warriors. Now, when you're trading somebody for cash, I feel like that's insulting in the league. You need to be traded for a player. That man could have been traded for a professional basketball player, but instead it was just dirty money. And and that's
I don't know what makes it dirty money.
I don't like. I mean, if you're trading, it just seems like you're buying and selling people at that point. You're not trading anything. That is buying and selling people. I don't like trades that involve just money and people. I don't like it. It's a personal thing that I've always had. But this is an instance where it happened, and the Warriors ended up with someone who, I mean, I saw him when he played in college. This guy could jump. I mean, that's one thing I remember. He, as the kids would say, had hops. And it was shocking to me that they would trade him for $3 million to the Warriors. And I said, of course, this guy's going to be good. Well, it turns out maybe he's not good, but he can certainly jump and he can certainly dunk. And he did something that was a little tasteless during the game the other night against the Mavericks. They were up by a lot. He was on a fast break, and he threw it off the backboard and dunked it, basically alley-ooping to himself. And he did it not at home, which is, I guess a little more tasteful, but he did it on the road, which is very insulting. And I don't know. I just don't think it was right. I think you feel a little differently, though.
What about it's not right?
It's just I think I said last episode, act like you've been there. Act like, this is not, you're going to be playing here for years. You don't need to just get that out of your system right off the bat. We're a couple games into the season and you're alley-ooping off the backboard to yourself. Now, this is a team that's supposed to be disciplined. They're the champions. Steve Kerr's got all this control. And I don't know. I just don't like the message it sends that's how they're going to be playing. Draymond Green and how he runs his mouth is bad enough, but we don't need him showboating too.
You people kill me, Greg. It's like, what the fuck are you going to get offended by next? This guy is a professional basketball player. People love dunks. There's 3 minutes left in the game. It's not like the game's over. Our man LeBron chimed in on this. You know what he said? Quote, "We're all men. Stop me from dunking. We're not trying to hurt nobody. You play the game until it's over. He threw it off the glass and dunked it. So what?" End quote. Play defense.
If this was baseball, yeah, if this is baseball, he'd
no
be getting
one would be fucking watching if it was baseball.
That's shots fired. No, baseball's great. They'd be throwing the ball at his head next time he's at the plate. That's the kind of shit that would be happening for that kind of showboating. And that's it. It's just tasteless. These are other guys.
That's why no one cares about baseball, because they let little things like that. If that's what would happen, in fact, in baseball, that's stupid.
No doubt. No doubt. That's what they'd throw at you at the next time you got up, and they'd probably throw at whoever the best player was in the team when they got up. That's how they roll.
This was a nasty dunk.
It was. I don't want to take away from that. It was a great dunk.
Oh, the guys on the bench were like, they didn't even know how to react because they know it was nasty, but they knew it was a little naughty. It was really fun to watch. If you don't like this kind of thing, you're watching the wrong game. And spare me all this talk about, classless and unspoken rules, because this is exactly why people watch.
Act like you've been there before. That's what I'm saying.
You know how you know he's been there before? Because he can fucking dunk like a maniac. And if you haven't been there before, you're not doing that.
That's a great point. All right. Another great episode there, JT. We're going to be back next week with another episode. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at Double Dribblers, or you can email us at doubledribblepodcast@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe to the show on iTunes, Podbean, or on Google Play. Thanks, and we'll see you on the internet.